Let me, my friends, tell you the time I betrayed the party. Also, be aware that there are some major spoilers for Falling Skies Season 1 if you remember that TV show. If not, that's fine. We took the premise that essentially the aliens had invaded Earth and we were a resistance group trying to survive in the suburbs of New Hampshire. At this point in time, I was trying to make my characters a little bit more cooperative with the other party members, so I created this character named Sarge, who was a point man character, which meant he gave out bonuses to other people for their actions. A big stipulation of this campaign was that we were only to watch a certain number of episodes of Falling Skies before we started playing. That way we wouldn't spoil some of the twists that the DM was going to give us. A sign of things to come was when we discovered some bandits who were held up in a place while we were searching supplies. I said, hey, I'll talk to them and distract them while you guys ambush them from behind because I'm not really good in combat, but I can assist you. And this way, they'll be focused on me, you can kill them off, it'll be fine. Well, that would have worked had the players not decided to instead set up explosives. Not only that, they had to get the explosives from somewhere else, so it was going to take about 15 minutes for them to set up. I reiterate, I had to actually talk to my GM in character for a bit so I could justify what my character was actually doing and saying to distract the bandits, because the bandits would otherwise kill my character. The explosives did go off and we were able to clear out everything, but we did burn some supplies in the resulting explosion. Cut to the end of the game. We had one of our players playing a teenager. He was kind of the power gamer of the group, and in this setting, teenagers often were kidnapped and given robotic cybernetics from the aliens in order for them to be controlled. And what ended up happening was the player went into an alien ship and downloaded this vision of the planet being attacked by another group of aliens. At the same time, my character was talking to one of the alien-controlled humans who was translating for me, basically saying that the aliens needed these giant towers to create a protective field around Earth in order to protect it from this other alien group. So I brought this information to my other player characters, and it was immediately dismissed. And I talked to the guy who was hooked up to the machine, and he said, yeah, I had a similar vision of aliens coming to attack the world, but we need to take down these towers in order to make it so that the aliens can't conquer humanity for some reason. What I didn't know was that this player, the power gamer, specifically broke the main rule the GM set, which was not to watch the further episodes of Falling Skies. In fact, he got so enamored by it, he binged the entire series and knew every twist and turn in the plot. So our next mission was to destroy the towers that were going to create the energy shield around Earth, protecting it from these aliens. I decided to volunteer to make the explosives because I had the highest science skill at that point in the group. And the GM agreed, and I had told them in private, I will be rolling to create fake explosives. And anything that I roll successfully will be a fake explosive, but anything I fail to roll will actually be a real explosive. And the GM had me roll this all in secret, so I didn't know what the results would be. So it's the final mission, and we are setting up these explosives around the tower. I say we, but my character was suspiciously missing during this portion of the game, and while combat was happening, the other players set off the explosives. Well, only two of them actually went off, and it wasn't the two that they needed to actually topple the tower. They needed a third one as well. The other player, the power gamer, looked at me in the eye and he said, you did it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not there. You can't talk to me. And he proceeds to get mad at me, but in character, he takes the car and rams it into the tower, saving humanity, because in actuality, the tower was going to create a shield around Earth, but in doing so, kill all of humanity. Why didn't you listen to me? I told you not to trust the aliens. And I'm like, you said you had a vision of humanity dying and these aliens coming to take over that weren't the aliens we were fighting. I had someone say to me that we needed the shield in order to protect humanity. I thought those two were together. And since none of you actually had a conversation with me, none of you were able to convince me to stop this from happening or to be on board with you guys taking down the tower. And he said, well, didn't you watch the show? And I'm like, no, we weren't supposed to watch the show. What do you mean? And he's like, well, there is another alien group out there, but they're going to kill humanity as well. But if the shield goes up, that's going to kill humanity too. I'm like, how am I supposed to know that? None of you talked to me about this. We've had secret meetings with the GM all the time about this, and you haven't been disseminating the information to the rest of the players. I'm just supposed to go on faith that you're correct in this situation? So, not too long ago, I talked to the GM and another player from that group and asked if I had actually ruined the game experience for having done that, and pretty much both of them said no. They do recall that the Power Gamer didn't disseminate any information he had gleaned, but they also mentioned that they knew that he had watched the show fully before getting into the game, as well as one of the other players did so as well, and just sort of was going with the flow of the story as opposed to actually reacting to what was coming up in the plot for us. So I think I was the only person who didn't watch the TV show for that game, and I actually really enjoyed that game, even if I did have a little bit of a poor experience with one of the other players. As at this point, I ask for your judgment. Was I in the wrong or was I in the right? Let me know down below in the comments, and if you can, like the video. If you like more story time like this, I have a playlist here of all the stories I have from previous games I was in or ran. Thank you so much, and have a good one. Thank you to our patrons for supporting the channel.